I hope that you're enjoying the event and so on. So first of all, before we start, I would like to thank the people here who are present. Also thank AIESEC in Sri Lanka for inviting me today. It's really a great honor for me to be among you here, and deliver to you some knowledge about AIESEC, a little about Algeria and how we fought COVID. Because I was always like someone who loves all Asian country, and it's really interesting to be here with you tonight. So yes, can you pass the screen, Kandil? Yes. So first of all, again, how are you doing? How is everyone doing? Are you enjoying? Are you tired? Are you bored?
Amazing.
Yes. What about the others? Don't be shy, people.
Super fine.
Fine.
So are you excited to start?
Yes.
Yes.
Excited.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, that's amazing. So yes, we'll be starting, but first I will be presenting myself. Can you please as the slide? So hello there, this is Mira Surya. I'm 24 years old and I come from Algeria, Aljazair. I'm going to be presenting my country. And I'm also one of the vice presidents of AIESEC in Algeria, well, at least for the next 1 month and a half, because my term will be over very soon. And today we'll be talking about my country, but first of all, before we start, how many of you actually know Algeria?
I know Algeria.
Yes, who too?
No, but
I
how
did.
to?
Yes, so
Then
Prabhu knows, Jismi also knows. And who doesn't know Algeria? Wait, we'll be reading them. Okay, so if you don't know Algeria, we get into discovering it right now. Can you pass the slide, please? Okay, so we'll be talking first about Algeria as a country. They will be talking about COVID-19 in Algeria and how did we fight the pandemic. Slide, please. So now let's start talking about Algeria. So in the left, you can see the Algerian flag right there. You can also, so Algeria is like the biggest country in North Africa. It's located in North Africa and it's Arabic country too. So it's not only the biggest country in North Africa, but it's also the biggest country in the whole Arabic world. We are bordered from the north by the Mediterranean Sea, from the east by Tunisia and Libya, from the west by Morocco, and from the south by Niger and Mali. So this is location of Algeria, as you can see in the map here. So yes, this country is Algeria. On the east, we have Tunisia and Morocco. So actually, something funny, a lot of people know Tunisia and a lot of people know Morocco, but they don't know Algeria. So yes, Algeria is the country that situated in the middle. And in the south, you can see Sahara. And in the west, you can see Morocco. So these are some basic information about Algeria. We'll start with surface. As you can see, it's 2,381,041 kilometers square. It's the surface of Algeria. Our population is 43 million people. 70% of those 43 million are under 30 years old, which means that we are mostly either young people or children. For the religion, mostly it's majority Islam. We have some Christian minority. And for the language, we have three official languages: Arabic, Amazigh, and French. Although that second one, Amazigh, is not spoken in many regions, but it remains official language because it was the language of our ancestors. And also, we learn English too at the age of 10 years old in middle school. What also you should know about Algeria is famous by its diversity when it comes to landscape, its people, its food. What I mean by diversity, that in Algeria you can find everything. As you can see here, you can find the desert, Sahara, you can find the coast, we have the sea, we have the desert. You can find also the mountains. There are we have 4 seasons. We have the winter, we have the summer, we have the spring, and we have the autumn too. So yes, it's Mediterranean climate, but in the south it's Saharan climate. Also, when it comes to food, we have a huge variety of foods in Algeria. So I'm going to be presenting only three. So in the left, you can see what we call couscous. It's very famous, not only in Algeria, but also in all the Maghreb, in most of the Arabic country. In the middle, you can see also what we call baklava. It's something sweet, yes. And on the right, you can see what we call shakshuka. Yes. Can you slide, please? Okay. So now we will move to talk a little about COVID-19 in Algeria. How did we arrive to the pandemic? How it happened? Slide. Okay. So this is like a timeline. I'm going to try to explain to you. So it was all started in February. We were starting to hear about the outbreak of COVID-19. So yes, I think when it comes to Asian countries, mostly you had COVID before you started having it in maybe middle of February. Some people even got to them in January. But in Algeria, it only arrived in the late of February. Before that, we were just hearing about the global pandemic. Some countries started to be infected, and we were taking it very seriously. We're saying that it's all right, it will never arrive to Algeria. We are so far, it's going to be fine, and so on. But unfortunately, on the date of February 27th, the first case of COVID-19 has arrived. It was actually brought by an Italian tourist to us. It was in a city in the north called Blida. And after this, it started to spread little by little. So even the first case, we still were living our life normally. We're preparing for our lives. We're making plans for summer. For example, us AIESECers were preparing to go to Tunisia for a regional conference. Some people were preparing their exams, preparing to graduate until March, exactly at the date of March 17, when Algeria imposed lockdown. First of all, it was the closure of all the borders, which destroyed our hope to go to that conference. It was pretty sad, but it was necessary. The core borders were closed, and it remained closed until yesterday, actually. There were also a lockdown that was imposed. Everything were closed, schools were stopped, everything was frozen. No more gatherings, no more activities. That lockdown and that curfew stayed until August. So between March and August, everything was stopped. Let's say maybe in June there were some activities allowed, but the curfew were lifted in August, in late August. And after that, life started to go back to normal, but another second wave arrived. By November, another curfew were imposed on us, and it lasted until February, until it lifted. Slide, please. And concerning travel ban, actually, it was only yesterday that the president finally agreed to lift the travel ban with some condition. We didn't hear of the condition yet. We're going to hear about them very soon. So now we'll be talking about how did we actually fight the COVID since its arrival. Slide. So yes, before this, let's talk about our situation currently with COVID. So the number of cases, it's only 200 per day. It's relatively low compared to other countries. The total cases since the start of the pandemic is 125K of cases. 87,000 of those cases are already recovered, and 3,374 are dead to COVID-19. So this is like that toll of the pandemic. Now let's start about how did the government plan to fight COVID. So in the beginning, like all the other countries in the world, there were a lockdown. Everything were stopped, all the activities, shops were closed, like most of other countries. The borders were closed and it remained for more than a year and a half. There were also a curfew, travel restrictions, strict measure, and the academic year and all studies were frozen. But can you slide, please? But the measure of the government did seem that affected because, yes, so we had the lockdown, but in Algeria, we never had a total lockdown. Like there was only, let's say, a curfew from 1 p.m. when it was very strict. It was from 1 p.m. to 7 a.m. curfew. So which means that people from 7 a.m. in the morning till 1 p.m. they were able to move freely. Everyone like were going out and so on. Most of people they were just there are some people who were living their lives and which had the pandemic spread over. So that's why we decided that we as citizens and mostly as youth, we need to act too. We should not only rely on the government. So this is what we did as youth. Yes, so the first thing we started to do is spreading awareness, especially organizations like AIESEC and other non-governmental organizations, especially youth movement. We spread awareness through digital channels about the COVID because there were some people who didn't even believe in the pandemic. They were saying like it's just a story and so on, especially elder people. They will also engage in virtual social activities in order to keep the mood going, like games, like quiz, and so on, keep engagement of people. There were online studies. The university started to study online. We organize also virtual projects. For example, AIESEC had global school, teaching languages, how to help people to gain more skills and so on. Distributing face shields, so yes, actually in Algeria we had some problem to get the mask at the beginning, so not everyone were having a mask. So what AIESEC in Algeria did is they gathered more than 20,000 face shields and they distributed them to all over all the country. The most important thing was respecting the lockdown. So yes, the government didn't impose on us total lockdown, but we as aware citizens, we as like responsible people, we stayed at home for more than 3 months. We didn't go out, we didn't go to our daily life, but we stayed home in order to stop spreading of COVID. Also, there are some volunteers who distribute sanitizer on street. They were like always cleaning up so the virus doesn't spread. And the final point that businesses switched online. Many of businesses and companies started offering their services online so that there will be no physical interaction and so on. So yes, now let's talk about our current state in 2020, exactly in 17th of May. The curfew is lifted. So yes, there is small curfew that remains. Actually, let's say it's not even a curfew because it's from 00 to 4 p.m., 4 a.m. I mean, like in the night for hours. So I don't know what they even call it curfew. Life is almost back to normal. Activities are being resumed. People are going to universities. Restaurants are open. There are even movie theaters, of course, with some restriction and to limit the spread. The physical activities are started to resume too. And finally, last night, as I said, the border were open, so we can finally travel again after more than a year and a half. And the COVID is like in its final phase in Algeria. It's almost gone. The vaccination started. A lot of people are getting vaccinated. So yes, we are hoping for the best in the future. So now I will leave you with this final message, which is, as you can see, our role as youth is very crucial and important to find this, because we are the hope for the future. We are the innovators. We will be the ones creating ways in order to fight COVID, creating solutions in order to resume our activities, even that we are not studying. As the case happened in Algeria, we had a lot of innovation uh, from youth and in many other countries. So yes, youth is the key to everything. As AIESEC believes, youth is the key for human and humankind, peace and the humankind fulfillment. So yes, that was my message. Now, if you have any question, you can ask me.
Hello, I am Rishi Chakraborty. I'm from AIESEC in India. It's
Nice.
really nice to about Algeria. So you're talking about different various thing about us.
Sorry, I didn't understand your question.
Hello.
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, thank you. So you talking about different various things about Algeria. So the current situation in the COVID, what I'm talking about, Algeria is manage the situation to become stabilized. So is there any AIESEC or any type of voluntary things those youth can help to contribute their citizen to become control or stabilize the situation of this COVID?
Okay, so yes, if I understood your question, you said that is there any type of volunteers that are helping people in order to keep situation of COVID stable, right?
Yes.
Okay, so my answer is perfect. Yes, there are a lot of volunteers. For example, AIESEC is part of those volunteers. There are a lot of associations, a lot of youth people who are doing their best to keep the spread of COVID by, like I said, spreading awareness, distributing masks and sanitizers, like trying to keep, how do I say, situation like uh, like spreading the awareness, so the not let people
Yeah, yeah.
saying that there is no COVID. So on. Yes.
That's great.
So yes. So like I said, the youth have always been there for COVID, and will always be to have.
Yes, yes, actually.
Yes. So another question. So yes, I think we have 5 minutes before we go back. So if you have any question, I encourage you to ask. You can write in chat box too. So does no one has question? Or maybe there are some people writing, but I can't see. So yeah, I believe that there's no question. Can you slide, please? So yes, people, again, if you need anything from me, you can always reach me. Here are my coordinates. This is my Instagram, my LinkedIn, and also my WhatsApp. So if you have any further question about Algeria, about COVID-19, or even Algeria as country, I really encourage you to approach me. It will be my honor and my pleasure to talk to you and also to guide you. And finally, thank you so much for being here today, for attending. I hope that you learned a little about Algeria and how we fought COVID-19. And again, thank you, AIESEC in Sri Lanka, for inviting me today and allow me to have the great honor to be with the amazing people here. So thank you so much, guys. Yes,
Thank
I
you so
believe.
much for sharing everything and details of your Algeria.
Thank you. So welcome so much, Rishit. So yes, if you need anything, you can approach me. Don't be shy. I'll be glad to help you.